Hello, welcome to episode 350. We're going to be checking if the player follows a path, which I'm then going to turn into sort of a race lap counter. It's just an idea I was playing around with and I thought I'd share it with you. The first thing we're going to have is some scoreboard objectives. But we don't write scoreboard there. Setup. So the idea is we're going to have some checkpoints, and I want to know if the player goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And we don't want them missing a checkpoint. So we'll have scoreboard, objectives, and let's call it marker.id, and it'll be a dummy. Done, and we're going to turn it into a lap counter as well. So let's put in scoreboard, objectives, add laps. Okay, that way we can run a race and count the laps people have done. And now I'm going to set a couple of those scores. Scoreboard, players, set, target, checkpoints. So how many checkpoints are there in the list? We'll say marker ID. Let's say we have 3 checkpoints. So my racetrack has 3 checkpoints in it. And how many laps do I want the players to do? Scoreboard, players, set, what should we call this? Target laps. Okay. Normally I would put one of those, a little hash symbol there, so it doesn't show on the scoreboard, but I want these to show on the scoreboard so we can check what's happening. So I'm putting a full stop instead. Okay, and what should we set laps to? Scoreboard, players, set, lap, target laps. Laps. How many laps? Let's have 3 laps as well. 3. There we go. Done. Doink. Okay, now I'm going to give myself some eggs so I can just place down the checkpoints nice and easily. So give egg, and this will be place a checkpoint. And we're also going to have give egg, remove last checkpoint. You'll see it'll get complicated if we try to remove ones in the middle. We'll see why in a minute. So let's put that there. And let's do give player. So this is place 1, so I usually use green. So slime, spawn egg. I'm not going to bother putting a name. Let's keep the video a bit shorter. I'll tell you what, in the description, I'll put the name in the command, so if you want to see it, it'll be down in the description. I'm just going to do entity tag. I want it to spawn a marker, so ID Minecraft. I'm playing a different game, it seems. Minecraft marker, and I want to give that marker some tags. Checkpoint place makes sense. Checkpoint place. Okay, I'm going to copy all of that. Copy. Paste it in there. Still going to be a marker, but basically we're going to change this from place to remove. Remove. Done. So let's get myself one of them. Oh no, look. I used the same colour. Let's not have that. Don't want slime. I have Strider. Okay, we've got a place egg and a remove egg. Nice. Let's make the controllers to place those things down. I want to give each checkpoint an ID as we place them. So let's have a think. Is this controller for place? Oh, you know I have to do a capital. There we go. So we'll execute at any entity, stop it, at any entity whose type equals marker. Doesn't really matter because this is only for when you're developing, not going to be for when you're playing. But tag equals checkpoint place, that is definitely needed. And what we'll do is we'll run summon a marker at those coordinates with the tags checkpoint. Okay, done. Let's make you repeating. Now let's give it an ID. I am going to execute as any entity, type equals marker, tag equals checkpoint, unless the score of that entity, marker ID, equals its own score, marker ID. So if it's already got a marker ID, we won't do anything to it. Otherwise, we will store result score at S, marker ID, run scoreboard, players, add, I need a fake player, let's do a dot ID holder, marker ID 1, done. We've got a lot of spare objectives there from previous tutorials by the look of it. Yeah, we've got deaths, let's get rid of that. We've got timer, let's get rid of that. We've got used milk, let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so we put a marker down called checkpoint. We give that checkpoint its own unique ID, and then we'll kill the marker we used. Type equals marker, tag equals checkpoint place. Done. We're not going to be able to see that, so let's chuck ourselves down. Show markers. Execute at any entity, tag equals checkpoint, run particle, dust, all red, all green, all blue, alpha of 1 at those coordinates, 0.1 on the X, 0.1 on the Y, 0.1 on the Z, no speed, particle count of 1. Done. Right, so I should be able to put them down now. Let's turn that on. And let's do scoreboard, objectives, set display on the sidebar, marker ID. So, target checkpoints is 3. Well, we hard-coded that. Let's put some checkpoints down. Let's get a start for my race. This is going to be my starting line. Boom, 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 boom. That's my starting line. Okay, so they cross the starting line, they go to one checkpoint, bum, 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 bum. They go to another checkpoint, bum, 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 and they go to another checkpoint. And you just keep doing that along the course. Now, the players don't know where they are. So if I started here and I skipped across, I'm going to miss one. My lap is not going to count, as we'll see. Right. So we can see my checkpoints. Those are the long UUIDs. We've got 1, 2, and 3. They're all different. Target checkpoints is 3. That's cool. ID holder is 3. That's cool. Okay. Let's make a controller to remove the last checkpoint. Controller remove last. Oops. Okay, and we are going to execute at any entity, type equals marker, tag equals checkpoint remove, run, kill any entity whose tag equals checkpoint, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1. Done. So we've killed it, but now we've got a problem that our target, our ID holder is going to be 1 too high. So we better take that down 1. So we'll add that in here as well. We'll do scoreboard, players. I think we'll just remove 1. Remove from dot ID holder. From their marker ID, remove 1. Done. And then we'll kill any entity whose tag equals checkpoint, remove. Done. Let's turn that on. Ooh. Okay. Why is he doing that? We should probably make that conditional. Okay. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll make that one conditional. There we go. That stops that. So that's only going to go down 1 if we remove a checkpoint. Okay, we better do some sort of reset to reset that that ID holder there, because at the moment it's a bit too low. Let's just do scoreboard players set .id holder. It's marker ID and it should be on 3. Okay, there we go. It's happy now. Right, so if we remove the last one, we have checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, ID holder equals 2. That's right, it equals the same as the highest checkpoint. We can move this one. Yep, and then if we put them down, we'll have a 1, 2, 3 again. Okay, it's fine. Now, problems. If we take one out from the middle, we're going to be left with checkpoint 1 and checkpoint 3. Now, we could just say, if your number is higher than the one that got deleted, take 1 off you. That would actually work. That would be fine, and it wouldn't be too hard to do. What would be harder to do, though, on the other hand, is to insert one in, because we don't really know where we're inserting it. So with this little system here, yeah, if we make a mistake, we can just take them back one at a time, so at least we can fix it. There we go. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we cross the finish line again. Right, let's set up something for that. So let's make myself a little reset down here. We'll call this reset. That's a good name since it is a reset. And I'm just going to do scoreboard players at the nearest player. No, scoreboard players set nearest player marker ID 0. Done. I'm going to actually copy that. Copy. Paste it back in. And I'll set my laps to 0 as well. Laps to 0. Done. Okay. Right, well, we know that that's all working at the moment. Right, okay. Now we need a controller. Actually, what we do, we've hard-coded the laps, and we've hard-coded the checkpoints. We've hard-coded 3. Let's make something that'll count them for us. Why not? I'm sorry, but you have to be in line. Let's do it. Let's count the checkpoints. Count checkpoints. Let's count them. So first of all, we'll do scoreboard players set .target checkpoints marker ID. First of all, we'll set it to 0, and then we'll count them. So we'll do execute as any entity whose type equals marker. Sometimes we type it, sometimes we don't. Tag equals checkpoint. If your score at S marker ID is higher than .target checkpoints. Did we call them checkpoints or checkpoint? Checkpoints. Makes sense. Checkpoints. Marker ID. So we're going to check every checkpoint. If its score is higher than the target checkpoints we have saved, then we will run scoreboard players operation dot target checkpoints marker ID equals that checkpoint's marker ID. Done. So our target checkpoints is 3, when really I think it should be 5. So if we press this button now, target checkpoints has gone up to 5. Okay. Yeah, if we take one off, let's get rid of this one. And now we can press this. Now target checkpoints is 4. ID holder is 4. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Right. Let's actually do something to sort of count laps, and are they going from the right checkpoint to the right checkpoint? Right, let's get the coordinates of this block here. Now, the reason I haven't used a checkpoint here is because this is going to be my starting line, and I want it to be a line. I don't want it to be a spherical check. Otherwise, if you came here, you would finish before the people that are coming here, because you're going on the sphere. So I've done a line here. So let's get these coordinates. Field, tab, copy, go away. Right, let's make a controller. Well, you are going to be my controller. I've already done that bit. Okay. Controller, main. Main will do, the main controller. The fat controller. Okay. So let's execute as all players, paste in those coordinates, and we'll say x equals, y equals, z equals, and then we'll say dx equals, or dx is that direction, so we'll say 0. dy, how far up in the air, so I don't want them flying over the top or anything, so let's just say dy equals 2, and dz equals, well, how long is it? We start there, we go 1, 2, 3. So let's say 3 for dz. 3. And let's just do a run, say hi. Make sure it's turned on. Let's just have a little. Yeah, that works there. Okay, clear chat. Yeah, it's working there. Cool. Let's add some extra stuff. Unless they have score at S, marker ID matches 1 or higher, run scoreboard, players set that player, marker ID to 1. Done. So I don't have a score at the moment. If I step on the line, I now have a marker score of 1. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, if your marker score is 1, then you should be going to checkpoint 1. So I should go here next. And when I get here, what I want to do is set my score to 2. So now you should be going to checkpoint 2. So if it goes here, it goes up. So as we go past each one, our score goes up by 1. So, and if we skip, so I'm here, I've got 1, I go straight here, my score is not going to go up. So when I get to the end, I am not going to match the target checkpoints. I must go through every checkpoint. Okay. So let's do that. That's going to be a bit more complicated. Let's have a little think. So we're going to execute at the player, I think. We'll execute at the player whose scores equals marker.id equals 1 or higher. We've crossed the starting line as any entity whose type equals marker, whose tag equals checkpoint, who is within a distance of, now you can set this distance to whatever you like. For my example, I'm going to set it quite small. I'm going to say you have to be within 1 block. But let's say you had, let me get myself a piece of coloured wool. I've picked orange. Let's say your racetrack was this wide. There's my racetrack that the player is going to be racing down. You probably wouldn't want to pick 1, because if you had that in the middle, if they ran down the side, they're not going to hit it. So you'd probably want to pick 2 or 3 to cover the whole track. Okay, so I've just gone with 1, so I actually have to step right on top of it. So we're executing at the player with a score of marker ID 1 as any type who's a marker, checkpoint, and it was within a distance of 1 from the player. Okay, if the score of the marker, marker ID equals the nearest player, and remember we're executing at the beginning, we're executing at the player. So when we say at nearest player, that's going to be me. I am the nearest player. We'll say, well, obviously this is your map. It's the person who's running across the line. I'm not the nearest player on your map. So if the scores match, we will run scoreboard players, and we could just say add, and it'd be the nearest player again, marker ID 1. Okay, I think we're good with that. Let's just have a little review of it. Execute at the player who has a score of 1, so they've crossed the starting line, at any marker which is a checkpoint within a distance of 1 block. If the score of that checkpoint, marker ID, matches the nearest player, which will be me, because we're executing at the player. So if the scores match, then we'll add 1. Okay, done. Are we running? Yeah. So if I cross this, nothing's going to happen. I'm already set to 1. If I hit checkpoint 1, oh, no, yes, I did go up. See, now I've gone up to 2. If I go to the next one, yeah, I've gone up to 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, I've gone up to 5. I appear to have, gone too high. Let's do our little reset. Now let's do another test. I've started the race. I've gone to 1. I hit checkpoint 1. I go to 2. I skip checkpoint 2 and I go to 3. Nothing happens. I skip this one. Nothing happens. And then I cross the line. And this is where we'll do another check. And it will say, okay, well, does your score equal the target checkpoints? And it's going to say no. So this is going to be a failed lap. So let's add something in to do lap counting. And I have noticed that as we walk around, if I do them all properly, I've got a score of 5, but there's only 4 checkpoints. So what we should probably do here, this is our target checkpoints. We should probably add 1 to the end. So let's do, let's just add 1 to this. Scoreboard players add dot target checkpoints marker ID 1. Done. So now if we do a count, now we've got 5. So if I do a reset, I've got 0 and now I'm 1. I'm looking for 1. Okay, now I'm looking for 2. Now I'm looking for 3. Now I'm looking for 4. Now I'm looking for 5. 5 matches target checkpoints. If we cross the line and target checkpoint score equals my score, we've done a lap. Right, that's next. Let's do that. So let's copy this bit from this first one, all this beginning exit. Here we go. Execute as player at those coordinates, blah, 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 blah. I've just copied that bit. Okay, right, let's get this on the end here. Okay, and then we'll do if score. If score, player. Are we executing as? Just check. Yes, we are. Okay. If score S, marker ID, equals dot target checkpoints dot marker ID. That basically I've done a lap then. Then we will store success as a score at S, marker ID, run scoreboard, players, add at S, laps 1. So we cross the finishing line. Home. Execute as any player crossing a finishing line. If their marker ID score matches the target checkpoint's marker ID, we've done a whole lap. Then store success in marker ID. So that's going to set us back to 1, effectively restarting the lap. And add 1 to the lap counter. Okay. So now click F3D. So we're on 1. Oh no, let's reset. Here we go. Right, race has not begun. We line up, we start. We're on 1, we're on 2, we're on 3, we're on 4, we're on 5. Okay, I think we can be quite happy that bit was working. Let's switch the scoreboard to display laps. Target laps 3. So if I cross this, we should get 1 lap. 1 lap. And now we go round again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I cross the 2. Okay, let's miss 1 this time. 1, miss you. Doink, doink. So someone's cheated. They tried to take a shortcut. Lap counter doesn't go up. Now I've done that one, so this is the one I'm looking for. So we'll go straight here this time. And now across the finishing line, lap counter goes up. Okay, now obviously you're not going to have particles showing at your checkpoints. Otherwise you're making it very obvious where people can skip. You can have quite a complicated race lap or race course. And if the players don't know where these checkpoints are, they just have to do the whole course in case they miss one. Obviously, you probably want to put enough, otherwise I bet you'll get some players that are going to test it and go, "Ooh, I'll try cutting off this corner this time and see if I do actually get a lap." But you can always put so many of these down. You just, I removed one. There we go, just put, there's one, there's another one, there's one, there's one. And then we'll have to run round here and run round here. And then we have to go there. Okay, all we have to do is we'll do a reset. We'll recount the checkpoints. Let's find out if we get a lap. 1, 2, that one, that one, that one. Round the back. Last one, and then get the lap. There we go. So you can, now we've made these little eggs, we can set up our course really simply. Let's get all of those away again because it'll just make it take longer for testing. Let's get rid of that one as well. Why not? Okay, and we'll do a reset. So now what we want to do is, does my lap score equal the target laps? If it does, then I've won. Or I've finished. So I think we'll start again with what we did before. Execute as player at the coordinates, so anyone at the finish line. And we'll say if score that player laps equals target laps run anything you like. Say I win. Yay. There we go. Let's try it. Full reset. There we go. Let's switch back to showing marker ID. Okay, 1, we've started the race. We're on 2, we're on 3, we're on 4. This is expecting 4. We've crossed it. Okay, we've reset to 1, so that's good. We should now have 1 on the laps. We do. Let's go round again. We've done another lap. 2, and here we go. Last lap. And we should just get, I win! Yay, just spam in the chat. There we go. Cool. Okay, well, I thought I'd share that idea with you. I've seen the question asked a couple of times before, how can I do a start-finish line? And the problem always is, obviously you can't just check a player here, because otherwise what would stop them just going 1 lap, 2 laps, 3 laps, 4 laps? You do have to have some sort of checkpoint system, and you're going to want to be able to put them down easily, which is why we've made the eggs. Because you don't want people cheating. You don't want them cutting off corners. So you could have a big corner there. Maybe the race goes all the way around there, and players don't have to go there. They just go, oh, I'll run around here. With this system, it's all right. We just add those corners in. There we go. Now our racetrack goes all the way around there. Super simple, super quick. Obviously, we do have to do a little recount the checkpoints. And we can see our checkpoints have all been counted. And we're set up and we're done. Cool. As I said, just a quick one. I thought I'd share with you. Let me get that horrible thing off the side. Because it's awful. There we go. It's gone. Done. Bump. There we are. I've taken up enough of your time for today. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.